Joining our group here?
Hi, my name is Satish. I didn't realize that I just put my initials in Zoom.
Okay.
If this is my second time, I joined 3 weeks ago, and last
Okay.
2 weeks I couldn't join.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Satish. And for my quick sake, where are you from? Where do you live here?
I live in the San Francisco Bay Area in California.
Okay. 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 All right. Thank you. And Linda, very good to see you. I know you had joined on the first session, as I remember. Were you able to join after that, or this is the second time you're joining after that?
This is the second time.
Second time?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I really liked it. It left me with a peaceful feeling all day, and I appreciate this group very much.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. I hope you're feeling better. I know. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And wonderful to see you, Suen. And Jasper, my dear young friend.
Hi, Deepak. How you doing?
Yeah. Yes, wonderful. All right. So let me again reshare my screen. So I'll do a quick recap for anyone who has missed and show you where we are. So I think last week you all covered the moods and modes. So let me start from the topic one. What are some of the key takeaways do you remember from the topic one, which is harmonizing body, mind, and spirit through meditation? Anybody?
I did not attend that one, so I
No,
don't.
no worries. Yeah, just for the one, anybody who has joined, and if you recall, I know this is almost 5 weeks, right? So that's the reason I'm asking. Like if you have any memory of it, otherwise I'll say something.
I
Okay,
think
no
I'm
worries. Go ahead.
here. Give me a second.
Yeah, good, wonderful, wonderful. I like Jasper. You have got some notes.
Perhaps. Oh yeah. Um, if I recall correctly, and if these are accurate, um, a crucial part, the takeaway that I had was that a, a way that you can harmonize your mind, body, and spirit is to live in the present, and focus on what's happening right now. Um, and also practice bhakti yoga and that a good way for that is to come to Mantra House every
Sure. Thank you very much, Jasper. So, many times we do yoga. Now, a lot of people are in meditation also. We go to the gym. The focus starts from the body. And as people learn a little bit more, only focusing on the body is not really giving me what I want, which is happiness, which is a missing link. And then we say, okay, I have to focus on the mind. But then slowly we learn that there's something deeper and there's a spirit. So, and what the mantra meditation does, it helps aligns all the three, right? So, it's your spirit, your mind, and your body. So that's the reason why the mantra meditation really works so well. So that was the takeaway from topic one. The topic two, the pursuit of happiness. Any thoughts? Any remembrance? What was it?
What I remember is there are 4 or 5 things that people, including animals, they have in common.
Hmm.
And there is the higher level of cognition that humans have that differentiates it from the rest of the animals. And
Hmm.
the pursuit of happiness, it's like food and
Hmm.
um, sleep. So those are common things that
Hmm.
make all of us that gives all of us happiness.
Very good, very good. A good recall. So the main topic here was that we are all seeking happiness, right? We are all seeking happiness. Um, why? is that we want to be in that state, but we are not able to get into that state permanently. We think that we get some happiness, but then there's a longer period of misery, right? Why is that? And that's where we analyze, this topic analyzes that there are um, permanent permanent problems in the life, right? And there are, so there were four problems which was talked about. um, 4 plus 3. So do you remember what are the four problems of life, which everybody has it? So what it says, the definition of the real problem of life is, it is common to all, no one can avoid it, everybody gets it. Okay, so that's the common problem. Otherwise, there are relative problems. I have a pain, doctor may be happy because I am going there to, because that's runs his business, right? So that's the common problem definition. Based on that, we talked about four things. Any recall?
You said for the consciousness one?
No, for this topic number 2, the pursuit of happiness. So we talked about birth, death, old age, and disease. We all must go through that, right? We all must go through that. Everybody who is on this, who is this on this earth, on this material manifestation, must go through that. And then on top of that, there were three other problems. Problems caused by our own mind, problems caused by someone else, and problem caused by Mother Nature. So I'll repeat. If you want to make you can make the notes. So, and these are common to everybody: birth, old age, disease, and death. 4. And then there are 3 other supplemental, which is problem caused by my own body and mind, my own, then problem caused by other beings, and then problem caused by the Mother Nature. Now, total these 7. These are 7s are the ones. That's the reason we are not able to have the permanent happiness in this life. And that's where, as Satish was talking, we analyze that animals don't have that faculty to analyze and say that why, ask this question why, but we as human has been given that faculty to question why. What is the reason? Why is there a place where there's no problem exists like this? Why I am in this problem, right? So that's the question. So it's just like inquiry begins, right? So inquiry begins. We say discover yourself. So inquiry for that begins now. Then the topic number 3, consciousness, the missing link. Does anybody remember what was the takeaway from that?
That was the one that the only one that I had missed. So,
Okay, no worries, no
let me-
worries, no worries. Anybody else remember anything? So, so when you say consciousness, right? So we know about body, we know about mind. I mentioned soul, and that concept is not well understood by the modern science, even though spiritual science is completely based on that concept of soul. And what this topic analyzes that we know that we are consciousness being. So we know about conscious. There's a symptom. We know that I am alive. I am feeling happy. I am feeling sad. So there's a something called which is telling that I am. I am. And that is a symptom. That consciousness is a symptom of the soul. Okay, so somebody, if we want to analyze, how do I know if I have a soul, right? And we went into that through multiple methods. Of course, one was the logical method. When we say that somebody dies, we say that, oh, that person is gone. Who is gone? The soul that is gone, right? That's the reason. Even though we say it, but sometimes we don't focus on it. So there is a soul. There's a very small, minuscule, very, very small uh, uh, element which is sitting in the region of our heart. Okay, sitting in the region of our heart. And that soul is giving us the consciousness. Then we also talked about um, the near death experience, where people who have gone through the near death experience, there are it's documented, and the scientists have studied it, where they were telling that they can see that they are above, and they can see that their body is, people are crying, or the doctors, they are trying to revive the patient if they were the patient. So there are multiple things which has been documented on the near death experience, and you can look it up. That's one of the area of science research. Then past life memory, why some people have the past life memory, where that comes from. And the only way to explain that, there is something which is moving from one body to the other body, and that is the soul. And when the soul moves from one body to other body, it also takes subtle body. What we call as a subtle body is like a mind. So the mind also goes, the some of the memory also goes with the soul. And in some instances, that past memory is still alive. So we all have the past life, but we have forgotten that. And that's the reason when you see, there are people who can do the past life regression. They can take you into the past life, or they can hypnotize you, right? And by hypnosis, they can get you into your past life. So it is there, just not accessible because we have forgotten about it. So these are the things which tells us that there is something called soul. Okay, and this is a very, very important concept for us to start practicing spirituality. When we say spirituality, it starts from the spirit. Mind and body is the supplement which is making us all together as a personality, but the soul is the basis of our spirituality. Okay, so that was the topic number 3.
I really
Topic.
like your quote of consciousness is a symptom of the soul. I'm writing that down. Thank you.
Sure, Jasper. Okay, topic number 4, the mind, a friend or a foe. Any recollection on that?
My recollection or my takeaway from that was that mind is like a monkey, and if we don't control it, it can act like a foe. But if we try to control it, it can also be a very good friend.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So the mind, and from the very scientific perspective, if you're logical, it looks scientifically, um, to connect with the soul, mind is a medium right now in our body. Mind is the medium through which we are connecting to the soul. Now, if the mind is always thinking, I want this, I want this, why that person did that to me? Oh, this person is stupid. Now, I'm always, angry, not happy. And that is what's showing up, what I am experiencing today. Right? So mind is disturbing with all so much of desire, all so much of desire, anxiety. That's the reason why I'm in anxiety. But now let's say if we take our mind and try to focus it, try to bring into the current, and just or try to understand what is the purpose of life. And then I focus on that. And then I understand that, I am a soul. I am a soul. I have a higher purpose. And I shouldn't be just bothered by all these material things. You'll see that the mind will start becoming stable. And once it is stable, it becomes a friend. And once it becomes the friend, this mind itself will allow me to go and understand the soul and give me the realization about the soul. So right now you only know the soul as a concept, but have we felt the soul? And these things happen. Feeling of the soul does happen in our life. You look into our experiences when we have some very challenging moment in our life. Somebody, we lose somebody who were very dear to us, or we lose lot of property, something which is very uh, close to your heart. Typically, it happens with the relationship. Means money can go, money can come, property can go, property can come, but some people are very attached to that also. But with relationship, people are typically closed. And when that happens, it just shakes you up. It really shakes you up. And we start feeling, oh, there's something. What is that? What is that? and we start looking. So that's one way. The other is when you are seeking, if you're a seeker and you are meditating, you're saying that I want to understand who I am. They just, so I'm looking for something. And I know when I was speaking with Sue Ann, when we met a few weeks, like 8 or 10 weeks ago, she was telling that she has been always been looking, and she feels that there is something more than beyond her body. So the people like who are the seeker, like Sue Ann, they will go and feel there's something more I need to learn. And the mind, because the mind has become stable, it is taking me to that path. If the mind is always disturbed, I would never have the time to think about it, right? So Jasper is a young boy, right? And when he went to New Zealand and to the mantra meditation, like even though young mind is very active, very active. They want to do a lot, right? But once you get into that zone, you start thinking, right? And then there are people who are coming from the past life. They have some inclination. They want to learn. So there are different kind of people, and that's the reason mind. For some people, the mind is very active, not in control. For some it's better control, so anything is can happen. So those are some of the topic we talked about. The mind is a friend or a foe. The last topic which we covered last week, moods and modes. Any recollection on that?
Yeah, I remember there being three scenarios, or three main ones, and then there's a higher good. There's a description of um, a family that lived out in the country and had a very prosperous and life that was linked to the supreme, and then there was the middle scenario where it was a very cyclical and unfulfilling life. And the final one was a couple that had been peddling drugs and was also very unfulfilling, but I just can't place the terms that they were describing.
Right. Very good, very good. So what we learned in this topic, and this is very important, if you understand this concept, you will be start able to become more aware of yourself and the people around you and the environment around you, all the three. So yourself, people around you, and the environment, which is the context around you. So there are three modes. And what Jasper was talking about, and this was covered in the form of the story or the narrative. So one is the mode of goodness. The people who are typically in the mode of goodness, they are soft spoken, thoughtful. They don't want to hurt people. They want to think what is the bigger purpose in life. They are charitable, and not just for the sake of charity, but they really are charitable people. So they have some of these characteristics. They are typically in the mode of goodness. They like to eat the food which is nice food, right? So those are the things which get, they are very prayerful. So these are the things which get got covered. So that's a mode of goodness, and the mode of goodness, it is both. It can be in me. So we all have, by the way, we all have these three modes. So mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So I'll summarize: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So mode of goodness is what I was describing, for prayerful, nice people. So we all have that in that. Yet at the same time, we have mode of passion also. I want to do it. I really want to do it. I want to do better than anybody else. Really, okay? I'm very competitive. Okay, why can't I get earn more money? Why can't I look more beautiful? Why can't I beat him? So there's a mode of passion. I want to do it. That's just driving factor, what we think, mode of passion. That also I have. Then there's a mode of ignorance. Man, I really don't care. Everything is all fine, man. Why do you need to worry about spirituality, man? Just eat, drink, be merry, right? So everything is fine. I don't care, right? I want to sleep a lot. I want to do drugs. This gives me on high, but I'm not thinking the repercussion of that. That is called the mode of ignorance, right? So we all have those three modes. Okay. The second is, even the things which we interact in our environment, they also have the modes. So if I'm going to the church, I'm going to the temple, I'm going to the places, I am visiting the places which is in the mode of goodness. If I am going to uh, the place, typically office, workplace, it is the mode of passion, right? Do, right? Mode of ignorance is typically where people go to the bar, brothel. These are the mode of ignorance, right? So these are the places. So even the places and the things, they are in the different modes, and then we are in the different modes. Typically, whatever the mode is more prominent during that time of the day or that day, you will gravitate towards those things. Like if you are like in the morning, things are looks very serene. You like the nature, you love it. You go for a walk. You're in a mode of goodness, thinking good thing about it. In the day, you're working hard, do. Night, less party time, like mode of ignorance, right? So daytime mode of passion, morning goodness, typically. But then it's not that in the night people are not in goodness, but I'm just giving you like a generalization, right? Just to make the concept and make you understand the concept. Okay, so those are the three modes. So now if you understand who you are, like, okay, what mode is impacting me, how my mind is getting impacted by the modes. I'm getting angry. I'm really in the mode of passion. I need to control myself. I need to control. I'm really getting nervous. I'm getting into, very nervous. I'm getting probably in the mode of ignorance. I should control myself. Now, you're becoming more. I want to cry. There's no reason. I just want to cry. I'm just too emotional. Is maybe the mode of ignorance is attacking me. Let me go and take a calm. Maybe let me go and drink a sip of water. Let me go and read good books. Let me go for a walk. So as we become more aware of ourselves, what mode is impacting, what environmental factor is impacting us, we will become more peaceful. Because once we become aware, then you can take corrective action. Okay, so these are the five topics we talked about. I know I took a little longer, but there were some of you. I thought that you haven't attended all this episodes, so I thought I'll give you the quick rundown. Was it helpful?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's go jump on the topic for today. Let's see what happened here. Why it's saying request access? Just give me a minute. I'm just going to refresh. Sometimes it does funny things to me. Uh, hold on. Hmm. And are you there? Okay, so Ian is going to play. I have some problem here.
The law of karma, an infallible justice. Two children are born at the same time on the same day. The parent of the first is wealthy and has anxiously awaited the arrival of their firstborn for years. Their child, a boy, healthy and attractive, with a future full of promise. Surely destiny has smiled upon him. The second child enters into an entirely different world. He is born to a mother who was abandoned while pregnant. In her poverty, she feels little enthusiasm to rear her sickly new offspring. The road ahead is fraught with difficulties and hardships, and to rise above them will not be easy. The world is full of disparities like these, blatant inequities that often provoke questions. How could Providence be so unfair? What did the parents do to have their son born blind? They're good people. Is Supreme unkind? Why does one person enjoy while another suffers? The answers to such questions are crucial to all of us because they give us a direct clue on how we can become free from all future suffering. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita, the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Karma means activities performed by the living entities conditioned by the three modes of material nature. Karma is a subtle force generated by the interactions amongst conscious living beings. The law of karma is similar to the scientific law of action and reaction observed in the physical system. By this suitable law, good or supportive actions lead to correspondingly positive reactions. Exploitative or violent acts force the actor to undergo equivalent troubles. Spiritual scriptures generally promote compassion and sensitivity to our neighbor, both human and non-human. When a person ignores the concept of non-injury to others, called ahimsa, or the biblical command, "Thou shalt not kill," by unnecessarily killing innocent living beings, he must suffer the result at some point in the future. And when millions do so, collective karma inevitably leads to macroscopic catastrophes such as wars, urban violence, and new diseases. Karma is the law of cause and effect. There is a reaction for everything we do. If we throw a coin up, it will come down. If we regularly put money in the bank, our wealth will accumulate. If we drink alcohol, we'll suffer a hangover later. These are natural laws of cause and effect. There are some facilities given to the human beings, but does that mean that we have a free license to engage in whimsical activities? We human beings are accountable for everything we think, speak, and do. Therefore, we must be aware of the consequences of the activities we perform. The law of karma is not applicable to the animals because they do not possess a higher sense of discrimination between right and wrong. Their intelligence is limited to the activities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. However, human beings are gifted with a sense of discrimination and a higher intelligence to inquire into the purpose of life and the root cause of suffering. Thus, the law of karma is completely binding upon the human beings. Karma. There are three kinds of karma. Punya karma, activities done according to the laws of nature and as per scriptural injunctions. Performance of punya karma gives pious and good reactions. Vikarma, whimsical activities done without any regard to the laws of nature and against scriptural directions. Performance of vikarma gives sinful reactions. Akarma, activities for which one doesn't suffer any reactions. These are activities without bondage. Good and bad karma, punya karma, and vikarma. If my body is nicely formed, intelligent, healthy, and born in aristocratic or rich circumstances with good opportunities for education, it is understood that I have acted piously in my previous life. If I have a body that is ugly, deformed, diseased, unintelligent, or born in poverty and ignorance, without faculty for improvement, I must have acted sinfully in the past life. I may want to live in a big house, but I may not deserve a human body. In the appropriate body of a rat, however, I will be allowed to live in the big house and consider it my own. Karma is like a bank account of credits and debts. Just as one's bank account determines whether one will get what one wants, the spirit's karmic account determines whether he will get what he wants in life. Good karma is like a credit in the account and bad karma is like a debt. For example, if someone is very charitable towards educational institutions, in his next life, he may be very wealthy and receive an excellent education. On the other hand, if one kills a living being, he or she will suffer the same fate in the next life. As long as the spirit is involved in good or bad activities, he will continually reincarnate in various species of life according to the laws of karma. At the time of death, the plans of the spiritual consciousness are stored within the mind, subtle matter, and by the help of higher orders' natural laws involving karma, the consciousness gets the facility to give these plans shape in his next life, in a suitable bodily form. The numerous biological forms at various levels of consciousness are therefore present in nature only to accommodate the different desires of the spirit. Good karma and bad karma do not cancel each other. One must suffer all the bad karma and enjoy all one's good karma. Akarma, refers to spiritual activity performed on behalf of or for pleasing the Supreme Consciousness that does not have any material reaction. Punya, good karma, and spiritual activity, akarma, are not the same. Punya, good karma, is material activity pertaining to the material body. By performing this, one can get promoted to a better material situation within the material world, but one cannot go beyond it. Just like in the case of a prisoner who may be transferred from a C-class prison cell to an A-class prison cell with more facilities, but who is not allowed to leave the prison. A karma, or devotional service to the Supreme Consciousness, however, being fully spiritual, has nothing to do with this material world. It is meant for material promotion, but it is meant to transfer us to the spiritual world, beyond the cycle of birth and death. A karma is thus beyond both karma and vikarma. To free oneself from the bondage of this material nature, one should perform a karma, i.e., work without reactions. Krishna explains this very vividly in the Bhagavad Gita. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. When a country goes to war, if a soldier kills many enemy soldiers, the government awards the soldier with prestigious awards. However, if the same soldier comes back, picks up a fight with someone and kills him, the same government punishes the soldier for killing one person who was earlier awarded for killing many. This is because in the battlefield, the soldier was acting on behalf of the government, and so the soldier was not liable. But when he killed a person for his personal reasons, the soldier was held accountable. Similarly, when we perform a karma, by acting on behalf of the Supreme Consciousness under his direction or the direction of a bona fide representative of Krishna, then there are no reactions to such actions. Some examples of akarmic activities are chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna, performing bhakti or acts of loving devotional service in the association of others following the path of bhakti yoga. By performing a karma, one develops devotion for the Supreme Consciousness, detachment from bad association, purity, and spiritual happiness. A karma liberates one from the cycle of birth and death and takes one back to the spiritual world.
Thank you, Anne, for playing that video. What do you feel about after watching the video? Okay, we will talk about it, but let's start with our quick icebreaker question. Okay, so the icebreaker question for today is, what is your feeling about exercising regularly? Do you do it? Why or why not?
It's interesting that this is a bit ironic. I made an initiation this week to get back my routine of going 3 times a week. And I find that a lot of my friends and coworkers and people around me and people in general will use, and me included, use the excuse of I don't have enough time. But I find that if you truly care about something or are truly devoted, you will make time. And so there's a tricky balance for exercising, I feel like.
Yep. Yes. Thank you, Jasper, for sharing. Anybody else?
I feel that it's important to exercise, not just, for physical looks, but it's also good for your mental well-being as well. Like you said, our soul and our body is like a vehicle. So we're borrowing this body and we should keep this body in good health. and with that, it helps us think clearly as well.
Very good. Very good. That's very true. Totally connect. And you see, and so let me ask a follow-up question. Do you know why exercising really makes you feel better? Anybody would like to comment on that?
Yeah, for me, it's when I exercise and I don't do like heavy exercises, I just do it at home. For me, the reason I do it and why it helps me is when I am exercising, my mind is not noisy. I'm focused on what I'm doing. And that while it's good for the body, it also helps my mind because I am just focused on whether I'm lifting weights or doing yoga. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. And when I'm doing something else, it doesn't happen that much. My mind is still noisy. I'm thinking of other things. But when I exercise or when I'm out in nature, um, I am able to just focus on what I'm doing. And
Very
it also
true.
keeps my body ready to, like, if I go out in nature and do a hike, I'm less sore when I exercise at home and do that. So overall, I think the main thing is this: my mind is less noisy when I'm exercising.
Very true. And the reason why it happens is that we are in the current, we are in the moment, in the current. We are not thinking for the past. We are not in the anxiety for the future, right? And that's it. When we are in current, mind is stable. And then, as you are saying, it's very good example the way you weaved all together. Like how then you're exercising or you're hiking, you feel more rejuvenated rather than being tired, right? Because mind is in a stable state, right? And of course, we'll talk a lot more about the mind. It's a very deep topic, but it of course requires time also, right? So we will covering mind will keep coming into the different topics. Okay, thank you very much. Any final comment before we move to the question for today?
The only thing I wanted to share was I know I should be doing exercise, but then it's difficult to do. And I feel I'm in the mode of ignorance when I'm just not able to get out of bed, go out for a run, even though I want to, but then it's difficult. So
Yes, that, but see, there's awareness, right? There's awareness that, I should exercise regularly, and that building habits takes time, right? And of course, there will be moment in life when we become really busy, but then whatever we prioritize, that gets done, right? So just being aware is the first step, which you are. So I think it's good. It's fine. Yeah. All right. First question for today. And I have pasted I pasted in the chat. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay, um, so what are different kinds of karma, and what is the law of karma?
The different kinds of karma or the good karma called punya karma.
That's
The
one.
bad karma is called
Yeah,
vikarma.
yeah, very good. Two. Yeah, okay.
And the third one is the spiritual one. That's a karma.
Very good. Very wonderful recollection, Satish. Thank you. Okay, all the three you covered. Okay, so these are the different kinds of karma. And what is the law of karma?
Maybe I'll give a chance to someone else.
is it that it accumulates? Good karma accumulates, bad karma also accumulates, but in the negative way, akarma does not accumulate.
Very good. Very nice. Good recollection. All good recollection. Now, next question. Is the law of karma applicable to animals? Why or why not?
It's not applicable to animals because of their lack of consciousness, so to say. They are bound by the modes of eating, sleeping, the mating, and the other one I can't remember of.
Defending.
They're not. They don't have the same gift, so to say, of conscious that we do, and are aware of the what is it? The
Intelligence.
Sorry?
Oh, I think they mentioned that they don't have the same intelligence as
Yeah,
human.
and that we understand the not mode of suffering, but understand the origin of it.
Very good. Very good. So basically, what you're telling that the animals, and Suen, I think you mentioned that also, the animals don't have the discrimination like the humans have, right? And they cannot know what is right, what is wrong. Okay, so that's one. Anything else uh, which makes us answer why the law of karma is not applicable to animals? So of course they don't. Their level of discrimination is they don't have the discrimination, or the level of discrimination is very low compared to the human. That's one reason. Anything else?
It's interesting because when the question was first posed, my first thought was it does apply to them. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought it does apply to them because animals do fight with other animals, for example, to mark their territory or other reasons. So maybe for that reason, I thought it was applicable, but maybe that's not the case. And the other reason I thought it was because it's still the soul that took the form of an animal. So as the soul, I thought you accumulate and carry the karma, irrespective of what body form you're in.
Very good, very good. Okay, you're questioning, you are asking all the right question. You are asking the right question. Anybody would like to comment on Satish or try to clear his doubt?
What I'm thinking is, as a human, I have the choice and free will. I suppose that I can choose to do some sort of action which can lead to good karma or bad karma in how I do stuff. But a animal who is stuck in the loop of sleeping, eating, mating, and defense might not have that free will to make that choice. Does that answer, or like is that something close to why?
Good points, Pritam. You made it. So see, so two things. Let's see if that would help Satish. So one, we talked about the animals have less discrimination, a lot less discrimination than human. They also have little discrimination. Some of the animals, like uh, the more intelligent kind, like what do you call dolphin, right? Which we know. Elephant also. They have some like their intelligence or their discrimination is only for their own family members. So if I am an elephant, I have a baby elephant. I and I see that somebody is harming my baby elephant, I'll go and fight, right? So there is some understanding. But then, as elephant, I won't question. Let's say that elephant keep coming to my to the baby elephant every time to come and try to harm. I will just protect. I will also fight. I won't question why you are attacking my baby elephant. Why? Elephant cannot ask that question. Um, or they don't care about asking that question. It is only about defending. They are playing their nature. As Pritam was telling, they are only playing their nature. So second part is the nature. So animal comes with their own nature. So tiger, aggressive by nature. Um, Cow, very like a sober animal, right? Doesn't attack. Goat won't attack, right? They just like to eat whatever they get, right? Well, the tiger will attack. Now, if the tiger attacks a cow, the question which Satish is asking, will the tiger get the karma? Video is telling no. Video said no. But the question is why the tiger shouldn't get the karma, or why the tiger should get the karma.
I think in that example, the tiger shouldn't because it's attacking because it's a nature, it's food.
Exactly. That's where the answer lies, right? So we need to, so the tiger nature is to attack, that's to eat. That's tiger is saying, that's my food. That's my food, right? So that's the reason animal they don't get karma, because if they do it, then they would never be able to come out of this karmic balance, right? But the humans, as a human, we have that discrimination. In that case, the mother nature has given that, oh, I have given you discrimination, my dear friend Deepak or Satish. I have given you discrimination, so I expect that you will use that discrimination properly so that you don't get into a bad karma. Okay. Or of course we will talk about the akarma. So so now we understand that the tiger, the animals, they are not in the karmic balance because they are just playing their nature, and that's the reason the law of karma doesn't apply to them. Any question here? Makes sense?
I like
Go
if
ahead.
say according to the laws of karma, can a animal or say a tiger be born as a human again in its next life?
Yes, absolutely. So we will, I think one of the topic it will cover the how the consciousness evolve. So there are many species of life, and the video will go into the even the exact number of species of life, um, uh, and it will tell that how the animals, right, as they are. So we all, once anybody comes to the animal kingdom, they will be living the going to the many animals life, right? But depending on the law of karma, let's say it was just that they did something and they have to be born as a tiger or a lion, and then it was only for that purpose they can again be human beings. So to answer your question, yes, they will eventually come to the human being, but is it going to be in the next birth or it will take several births? That depends on that individual soul. Okay.
I see.
Okay. So third question for today: explain the difference between the good karma and akarma. Do good and bad karma cancel each other? The two-part question. Explain the difference between good karma and akarma. And do good and bad karma cancel each other? So let's start with a simple thing. Second part: do good and bad karma cancel each other?
They do not. They both accumulate, and you have to experience the consequences of both.
Very good. And logically, how can we explain that? Yeah, they it's like a separate account. They are not. It's not removing the other part, right? So how can we explain it logically through our experience, our own life experience?
Credit card and debit card.
Yeah, credit card and debit card. But yeah, but in the case of the bank, credit card and debit card, if I'm a lot in debt and I get a lottery and I put all those money, all my debt can go away, right? But that doesn't apply in the karma, as Satish mentioned. It doesn't apply. I'm saying that through your life. Can you explain? Yeah, it doesn't apply. Do you have experience which can tell you that it doesn't apply?
I think earlier in the video they mentioned of a show, soldier where he
Soldier,
gets
huh?
rewarded for being in battle
Mm-hmm.
versus when he comes home and if he kills someone because of his personal, then he gets punished for it.
Mm-hmm.
So with those two, yeah, it doesn't cancel out because one is, how do I put it? He doesn't, he goes to war and he kills, all these people. And then he comes back and he kills someone for his personal. That doesn't cancel out, right?
Yeah, okay. I understand. So what, let me add what you're trying to say. You're saying that, let's say I am a soldier, I go to the a war, and I kill so many people, I get the reward. I get a medal. Okay. But then I come in my town, I go and kill, I get into the jail, right? It's not that they say that, oh, you have got a reward, so I'm not going to punish you. So I do get the reward, but at the same time, I'm getting the punishment also, right? So both are happening. That's is that what you're trying to explain?
Yeah.
Okay,
That,
okay, 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 okay. Any other point?
I had a question on that one. From a
Please
karma
go
perspective,
ahead. Mhm.
the soldier going and killing on behalf of the government, would that be considered good karma, even though the government considered it as a good thing? Is that a
Yeah,
good karma though?
yeah. So yes, so there are different duty we play in our life, and if somebody is given a work of being a soldier means you have to do your duty of protecting your country. And if the order has been given by the people who are governing it, then at least you are not getting the bad karma. Okay, you are because you are doing your duty. So for example, now you are do you have child, Satish?
Yes,
Okay, now let's say, do you scold or punish your children?
sometimes.
Do you get, what do you think, do you get the bad karma for that?
I guess it depends, but it's a tough question.
No, so
uh,
this will help you answer. This will help you answer. So that is so by the end of this session, you should be able to tell whether you'll get it or not. But so just see, if you don't punish your children, let's say they're being mischievous, they are being rowdy, they are disturbing other children, they're beating other children, and you are not punishing them. What do you think? What's happening? What's going to happen? Is your are you going to get the good karma, bad karma? Is somebody else is going to get the good karma, bad karma? What do you think?
I think if you don't punish in that kind of circumstance. Fortunately, my son is,
It's a
I
good
can
boy,
have a
yeah.
conversation with him and address it. But yes, in that example, like if you don't take action and if you don't punish, then you are allowing your child to take a path where he or she is accumulating bad karma.
Yes, ultimately he's going to earn a lot of bad karma because he was never reformed.
Right.
He was never corrected, right? And because he got a lot of bad karma, you will get the bad karma because you were in a position to correct your correct your son, but you didn't take that you didn't do your duty, right? So you get the bad karma for not doing your duty. So as a parent, as a father, your duty is to punish your children in some circumstances. Yes, and that's your duty. So you don't get punished for that, you don't get bad karma for that. That is your duty. Okay, and if you do your duty well, you get good karma. Okay, if you do your duty well, you get good karma. Okay, so now if you look into your example, you are taking punishing your children, uh, doing your duty in a nice way is good karma. But of course, if sometimes the parents go overboard and they start slapping left, right, and they really hurt, of course that's going to give the bad karma because he hurt somebody like too much. A small slap, that's totally fine sometimes, right? I hope that without the slap, if the things works, that's much better, right? But as a parent, they have some liberty, right? They have some liberty to do that. But so under so now coming back, why the bad karma and the good karma don't cancel? One other logical way you can understand. If let's say if it would have been it if it would have cancelled, and you are a good person and you are always doing good things, then in your life you shouldn't be getting any misery because you are doing good things, but still you are getting misery. Why?
because you're doing bad karma.
Because I might have done the bad karma in the past and I'm suffering due to that, right? So the good karma and the bad karma account is there, both are there. And I have to, what if, even if I have done the bad karma in the past, even in my past life, I have to suffer through that. And that's the reason the misery do come. Even though in your memory, you cannot recall that I have done anything wrong. Okay. And of course, then the other times is we make the mistake. We don't think that we have made the mistake, but we have made the mistake. So that also we say that to err is human, right? To make mistake is a sign of human. We do make mistake, and in that also we accumulate karma. Okay, so any action which we do, any action we do will have a reaction. That is the earlier question, right? What is the law of karma? So it is every action has a reaction. Either I'm going to get a good karma or I'm going to get a bad karma, or, and with the concept we are going to discuss, or there is a possibility of not getting either a good karma or a bad karma. So there is a possibility which is called a karma. Okay, so let me type it in case you didn't get it. Okay, so it's called a karma. Okay, so there are three. Vikarma. Vikarma is bad. Okay, and then punya karma is good. So these three types. A karma means no reaction. So there is a way where somebody doesn't get reaction. So law of karma is there's for every action there is a reaction. That's the typical. But then there is additional thing, and akarma is what is the bhakti yoga is all about. That's what the bhakti yoga is all about. Now let's talk a little bit about akarma. Are there things which we do for which we don't get any reaction?
Yes, I believe the video and explained that work done without reactions can be attributed to devotion to Krishna in various ways. There's a lot of different ways, but that's what I gleaned from it.
Right. Very good point. You are a very good listener. You are focusing and listening. Very nice. Um, so, um, so think logically like this. If my duty, like I was talking to Satish, if his duty is to take care of his children, he's taking care of his children as a father. He's not overdoing it. He's not underdoing it. He's just taking care of his duty. That logically shouldn't earn karma. Okay. So that's a logical thing because he's just doing his duty. That shouldn't earn any karma. But the akarma, the law of akarma applies when the work is done for divinity. When the work is done for divinity, to please the divinity. And how the divinity get pleased? When I am doing my work properly. When I am doing my work properly. So as a father, if I'm doing my work properly, and and in that work I'm seeing how it is helping me to grow, right? If I'm able to make the connection of, so what the law of akarma says, if I'm able to connect all my work to the supreme divinity or Krishna is one of the name of the divinity. Okay. um, Divinity has many names. Allah is the name of divinity. Okay. So Christ is the name of divinity. So um, so when we connect our work to divinity, any work which we are doing to divinity, we are consciousness of the divinity while I'm doing the work. That becomes a karma. Okay. So now coming back to the example, Satish punishing the child, thinking that my son has been given to me in my care by the divinity. I have to make sure that this son's become a good citizen, and with the good value system he understands the divinity, and he also doesn't take birth again. So he has that attitude. And that's the reason my child must learn that what is the right value system. He shouldn't steal, he shouldn't be abusive, he should work hard. So now for that, if Satish is punishing his children, that is a karma. I'm taking a long pause. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
I have a question, Deepak.
Yes, Suan.
So if you do good, like serving the community, voluntary, like volunteer act, and you do it without any expectation in return, is that consider good karma or a karma?
Very, very good question. Very deep question. Very nice question. And this is something Bhagavad Gita talks quite a bit about that. Okay. So let me try to explain you, even though we haven't got all the concept, but let me try to explain you. So it goes to the intention. So the question is goes to the intention. If I'm not expecting, but am I really not expecting, or I'm expecting people will see that, oh, Suven is a good person. Are you expecting even that? Or if you say, no, I'm not even expecting that. If I'm doing something good and somebody come and criticize me, I will be fine. If you think that, that's the thing, right? And why? And because you're telling that, let people criticize me, but I'm going to help these people because they people deserve. And why they deserve? Because I want all these individuals to also learn about the divinity. I want them to go back. I don't want them to suffer in this world. I want them to have go out of the cycle of life and death. Right? That's the reason we are helping them. Then that's a karma. That's a karma. But let's say, of course, the easy one is you have some expectation. Then you are getting the good karma. So you have expectation that people should say, Suan, good job, Suan, good job. And you are feeling elated. You are getting a good karma because you did a good thing to help the people who really needed the food or whatever, right? You get the good karma. But that's not a karma because you are expecting something in result. Okay. So intent is what really matters. What is the intent and the connection? Is the intent is connected to the divinity, or and the sense of duty. The sense of duty has to be connected with the divinity, and that is the little advanced topic which will come as we move along to the other topic, right? So we haven't covered that. So just for until now, understand, if I have expectation, I will get the good karma. And to make it a karma, I have to make sure I'm not expecting anything in result. I'm doing only it as a sense of duty, then that's a karma. Okay, so that's simple term. If you're doing only as a sense of duty, even if you can get
Here
criticized
you
for that, sorry.
you cut out for a bit there.
Okay, okay. I'll try to repeat. So what I was saying, that if everything matters, everything is connected with the intention. While I am doing my work and I'm not expecting anything in result, I am doing it as a sense of duty, then that will fall under the akarma. If I'm doing good, but I'm expecting something in result, which is either people will say, praise me, oh Deepak, good job, Suen, good job, and I'm feeling elated, happy, I will get good karma, not akarma. I will get good karma. Now let me ask one question, and uh, we have another like 7-8 minutes. So let me ask you one question: is good karma good or the good karma bad?
Depends on what context you're asking. If you're asking, is good karma good for exiting the cycle of life and death, then no. But if you are aiming in your life to build yourself out of the debt, I mean, it's not an equal opposition. But if you're looking at it in the context of a life, yes, good karma is good.
Very good, Jasper. I'm very impressed with your understanding. So you're right. If you're looking for the material happiness, good karma is good. But Still it is bad. The reason is none of the life, like if you look at Bill Gates, you look at what Elon Musk, very rich people, very successful, so-called very successful people, right? They have a lot of billions and trillions and whatnot, right? But are they not suffering? They are suffering, right? Like Elon Musk, like he's getting left and right, and he might suffer more. Bill Gates has gone through his suffering. He has a life like a good, happy family, so-called family life, which looked from outside. He had a broken marriage and going through his own suffering. So he's getting sick. Everybody. So even though the good karma will give me opulent life, some more respect, but ultimately is going to be bad because when I'm living the life, I have to suffer through all the actions, the bad action I have to all which I have done. So as long I am getting born, as Jasper you were talking about, as long as I'm getting born in this cycle of life and death, right? We are making both good karma and the bad karma is binding. So hear this word, both good karma and bad karma is binding, which means I have to suffer the consequences or I have to get the reward of the consequences. If it is a good karma, I'm going to get the reward of the consequences. It's a bad karma, I'm going to suffer the consequences. But nonetheless, I have to take birth and I have to go do both. And whenever I take the birth, I am going to generate some bad karma, which means I would never be able to free from the cycle of life and death. And that's where the principle of akarma applies. And the all these remaining topic, as we go along the journey, the emphasis will be how we can live a life of akarma, how we can connect everything to divinity, how we can say that I'm doing it as a sense of duty. Okay, so that's the whole principle, and that's what spirituality is all about. Spirituality is what is my goal, how to achieve it, and to achieve it, how should I function in this world within my family life, within my professional life. So spirituality is very well aware of the personal life and the professional life, all those lives, right? But then once we get this message, we will be able to work through all of these things and still do not get the karmic balance. Okay.
I have a question, Deepak.
Yes,
If
please tell me.
first question is, does doing one's duty not acquire karma? And second, I have another question, that if in this framework, if I think that I'm just doing my duty, then I won't be motivated to do things that might be out of reach at hand. I am thinking of just doing say a very difficult thing, like I would say even doing a PhD, you need that motivation to do that PhD. If I say that I'm just doing my duty, then I would not have the motivation to do so. And I would be honest that I have struggled with it sometimes, that I think of it as, okay, I'm just doing my duty as a student, I'm trying to learn, but then I don't have the motivation, or I feel difficult that that there may be a lack of motivation there, that if I had, I would have had a better time.
Mhm. So I understood your second question. You are asking whether the duty will, what is the relationship between the duty and the motivation, kind of, right? Do you think, and you are associating that if I think it is my duty, then I'm not too motivated, right? So that's your second question. I didn't follow your first question. Can you repeat your first question?
Yeah, my first question was, if I'm doing my duty, do I acquire karma or not? Because I think
Okay.
you mentioned.
Okay. So the first question is something which we addressed, like when we're talking with Satish on doing his duty as a father, right? So it's the answer is depends on your intention. If you're doing your duty, and duty word is related with in general. These days we, we think that duty is a work. Like if I'm doing any work, that is my duty. No, duty means you are connecting with the higher purpose. Duty means you are connecting. This is the spiritual meaning. The duty, whenever the word duty gets used, it is with the higher purpose. What is the higher purpose? Why I am doing it? So if the intention is I am doing it because I'm in a position to do this, I have been asked to do this. Um, uh, my circumstances says that I must do it. Means so there are things which you would know, and we will give you example. I'll give you the example which will answer your second question and the first question both. So let me now take this a detour which will answer both. Now tell me, have you seen the new mother who has the new born child? Have you observed the new mother?
I have, yeah. Uh,
What do you think? Is she busy? Let me ask Suen. She's the lady here. Suen, what do you think? When you were a mother, do you think that you were busy?
Very busy.
Very busy. In fact, nobody can be more busier than a mother of a newborn child. 24 hours. You don't even get the chance to go and go to the bathroom
No,
because the baby is crying. She needs the milk. You have to nurse and you have to go to the bathroom. What would you do? So many times mother hold so that the baby is calm. Then they go to the bathroom. Then they go do this. Mother, 24 hours without any salary, right? 24 hours. Now, where the mother gets the motivation to do this?
her child.
Child. And so child, so there's a affection, there's a love, right? Then there's a responsibility. She's my child. She's my child. Who is going to take care of that child if I'm not going to nurse the child? Who's going to clean the child if I'm not going to do that? There's a responsibility because the mother held the child for 9 months in her body. She is very attached to the child. So her level of responsibility is to the peak, is the highest level, even more than the father. Okay, that's because she was the one who was holding the child for 9 months. Okay, now so the sense of duty comes from that responsibility. It is my responsibility to take care of this child. So Mother Nature, of course, make the uh, make the intention also clear. Like when you have a when you are a mother, you feel that that's your responsibility, right? That's very natural, which the manifestation gives you. But then there are other emotions which is saying this is my responsibility. I have to take care of the child. Even as the child is growing, you just want to make sure the child is being taken care of, well fed, and become a good person, right? As a mother, you are thinking about that. Now, the question why I brought this up, the sense of duty, because many times what we think, when I say duty, we think it's very light, and we think the urge to work and do better only comes through the passion. We think that way. And I wanted to disprove that by saying the urge to really go and do well in our life comes at a higher level when you have the sense of duty. And I will give the example. I gave the example of the mother. Now take the example of a student. Now I'm going to Preetham. Preetham is a PhD student. Now, Preetham, if you start thinking, why I started the PhD? If you start, see, if the intention for your PhD was, it will give me a better job. If that was the intention, then your determination can waver here and there. If you started the PhD because you wanted to really research something, you had you really thought that this something which I am going to do is really going to change the face of the world, you will be determined like like Newton. 61, how many failed experiment before he got the light bulb? Many hundreds I forgot, right? Then he got the light bulb, so many failed experimentations. He was determined to go and do that. So each failed experiment was a learning for him. So as a student, if my intention was I would like to, as a PhD student, I want to learn, I want to do something for the society. I want to um, uh, I want to really excel at it for the benefit of the society. If there's a linkage, the higher purpose, then you will be very determined. If the linkage is with the earning potential or something else, it will waver. Sometimes it will go higher. I really want to do, and sometimes when you see that, hey, what I'm going to get out of this, all this kind of earning, like, am I going to work 16 hours, 18 hours like other people are crazy, and then suddenly your determination will go down. Then you have to bring your determination up, right? So that's where the sense of duty, when I say sense of duty, if you can connect your PhD and you think that sometimes you need help and self motivation, and we all go through that at work or anywhere, we sometimes determination is high, sometimes determination is little not that high. Then by being aware and connecting with the purpose why I'm doing that work will bring that motivation at the higher level. Okay. Ultimate motivation is when we know we are able to connect with the spirituality. But right now we are all are a student, you are learning. So you have to intentionally start connecting it. But once it becomes natural, so for example, Preetham, if I would be in your shoe, I think that, I want to do the PhD. I want to complete it. I want to do a good thesis, um, so that people know that I was a good student. And as I am becoming a more God conscious or Krishna conscious, I am becoming more. People will know, oh, good person can also do a good work. People many times think that, if you become a spiritual person, you won't focus too much on the professional side of the things or education side of the things. That's not true. In fact, the person who is more divine conscious, who's more supreme conscious, who's more Krishna conscious, I'm just using it as all the synonym, will do much better work because they want to show the world that I can be Krishna conscious and I can be a very good student. And both can happen simultaneously. If you have that determination, means if you start connecting that, your determination will go higher. You will do well. There will be, it will go through like this. That's life. It will go up and down, but you will be able to bring it back. Okay. So were I able to answer both of your question? Like a sense of duty. What is a sense of duty? Um, and then connecting the duty with the motivation. So duty has the highest level of motivation. That's the one point I wanted to make. And you can internalize more example in your life. And if you need more discussion, we can have more offline conversation. Okay. So
Yeah. Yeah, I took away that duty should be in a sense of a higher purpose. If not, like divinity is the highest sort of duty, but then I think duty towards people, duty towards just general population is also a sort of
yeah,
duty.
yes, exactly. If you connect with the people, you see, people who connect their work with the social causes, they are very motivated. They can even willing to go to the jail or get killed. They are very motivated, right? Whenever we connect our work with the higher purpose, we become motivated. There has to be purpose in life for our work. When the purpose is the supreme, that becomes a karma. That becomes a karma. If the ultimate purpose, whatever the intention is supreme, that's become a karma. Other motivation is good to get the work done, but that may not be a karma. I will get a good karma or a bad karma. But when it is connected with the highest truth, then it's a karma. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Deepak. I don't know if we have enough time for another question. I can
No, no.
save it to next week.
Yeah, I miss. You see, if folks can stay, I can stay. Yeah, please go ahead and ask the question.
So this might be a tough one, but I'm curious what about so take for example a child, maybe 1, 2 years old, does an action that in adulthood would definitely earn him or her some bad karma. Like if the child injured someone greatly, but was not aware that that was a harmful action, does that young child still accrue bad karma?
Okay, very good question. So, as per the law of karma, the child until they are 5 year old, they don't incur any karma because they don't have the discrimination power. After
Okay.
5 year, um, it will be less so because still they are learning. After becoming teenager, they start incurring all the karma. Okay, so that's the reason what the scripture says that once the child is 5 year old, we start teaching them good value system. Okay, we start training them until 5 years. Yes, they are good. So don't worry.
Good.
All the mischief we have done until 5 years is not going to bother you.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Good to
Yes.
know.
Yes. Any other question, folks? I really like this class. Like it's very good. Like very active. Very active. So I will end with the last question, and this is like a homework also. You think about this. How can we perform action in our day-to-day life such that we don't suffer any reactions? So I gave the answer. What was the answer? How can we perform our actions in our day-to-day life such that we don't suffer any reactions?
Devotional service.
Yes, connect everything with the supreme purpose. So devotional service is called supreme purpose. Okay, so why? Because many times devotional service won't make sense, and devotional service we haven't understood it. This is very deep meaning. So I would rather make it a simple thing. Try to connect everything. The first step I will take, no expect. I will do the work because that ought to be done without expecting the reward at that work. So I will study hard because I want to learn, not because I want to get the topper in the class. So the motivation is not becoming the topmost and that being recognized as the topmost student in the class. The motivation is I want to learn for the sake of learning. I want to, as a PhD student, I would like to do something which will be meaningful to the people in general, meaningful to me, meaningful to the other people, right? So that's the step number one. And the step number two, if we can find a way to connect your work or study to the supreme, then you get a karma. So the homework is as you are thinking in this week, think all the things which you are doing in your life, how can you connect it to supreme? And these are the practical things, right? And we can have more conversation on this as we are either meeting one-on-one or in the next following classes. Okay, you can always ask this question that in my situation, how can I connect it to the supreme? Because that's how we learn, right? So homework is take few instances where you are spending the most time. And if you think that is not connecting to the supreme, how can you connect to the supreme? Is the homework clear?
Crystal clear.
Okay, Satish, go ahead. Wonderful to have you here. All you all have a wonderful week ahead. I hope I'm not leaving you with a lot of questions, or am I leaving you with any questions which you really want to get answered now? No?
I'm
Good,
good.
just
Thank you.
okay, good, good. All right. Thank you. Preetham, Satish, Shuen, Jasper. Thank you very much. You all have a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you. You
Thank you,
too.
Deepak.